Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Random News, and I want to welcome you to episode 5 of Random News Reports. And in this week's episode, we're going to go over the story of Jussie Smollett.
Jussie Smollett from Empire was the victim of a brutal, heinous hate crime in Chicago early Tuesday morning. Here's what we know. Jussie was out at around 2 a.m., went to a Subway restaurant to get some food. When he walked out, two men approached him, white men in ski masks, and yelled. They used a homophobic slur, they used the N-word, and they referenced Empire. So they clearly knew who he was. When Jussie turned around, they jumped him and brutally beat the hell out of him. He broke ribs. They also poured bleach on him during the attack and put a noose around his neck. Now, Jussie fought them off, and we're told he managed to get up once they fled and took himself to Northwest Memorial Hospital in Chicago. Now, here is the really scary part about this attack. We're told by people connected to Jussie that as the men fled, they yelled, "This is MAGA country." The other thing we know is that about 8 days ago, Jussie got a letter that was sent to Fox Studios in Chicago. He shoots Empire there in Chicago. It was addressed to him, and it said, "You will die, black," and then they used a homophobic slur. That was sent to him, and the letter, the envelope, said MAGA on it. So there are some really scary details here about this, but right now Jussie is recovering, and we hope he's going to be okay.
So after hearing the story and laughing for about 20 minutes, I figured there's no need to try to debunk this. Nobody's dumb enough to fall for that story. Turns out I was completely wrong. A lot of people fell for that dumbass story, and here's just a few examples of that. Now, the first person that wanted to look loud and stupid was Al Sharpton. Check out how he tried to throw this whole situation on Trump.
Tweets about everything else. He should tweet the disassociation that slogan should have with this. His silence would be very, very deafening.
What?
Oh, don't worry. We're going to have more on this fraud by the end of the video. Next, we got presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Now, you would think somebody running for president wouldn't just rush to judgment without any evidence. Well, let's see what she says.
This was an attempted modern-day lynching. No one should have to fear for their life because of their sexuality or color of their skin. We must confront this hate.
Presidential candidate Cory Booker had to put his 2 cents in.
The vicious attack on actor Jussie Smollett was an attempted modern-day lynching. I'm glad he's safe. To those in Congress who don't feel the urgency to pass our anti-lynching bill designating lynching as a federal hate crime, I urge you to pay attention.
And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, this is what she had to say.
The racist, homophobic attack on Jussie Smollett is an affront to our humanity. No one should be attacked for who they are or whom they love.
How are these people in any type of power when they're this gullible to fall for something this stupid? And trust me, this is stupid. Check out this letter that was sent to this dude. Now, I was done with this case as soon as I saw it. They looked at a really bad B movie and copied them cutting the whole letters out of the magazine and pasted them in. And who they paid to draw this picture? Even worse was when I heard him say,
"This is MAGA country."
Come on, who even talks like that? But the more he talked, the dumber the story got. And trust me, this moron never shut up. He told this dumbass story to anyone that would listen, all the while painting himself into a corner.
I was bruised, but my ribs were not cracked.
I noticed the rope around my neck and I started screaming. And I said, "There's a rope around my neck."
I went to the doctor immediately. Frank Gatson drove me. And above all, I fought the fuck back.
You do such a disservice when you lie about things like this.
I'm the gay Tupac.
Man, get off that shit. It's over. It ain't nothing nobody can do about it now.
Now, this dude went around giving interviews to everybody. And as the weeks would pass, People kept eating it up and kept jumping on the bandwagon.
Brother Jussie, I haven't stopped thinking about you since this whole thing went down. And I just want to let you know that I stand with you.
You cowards that jumped out on Jussie in Chicago, I'll be there performing. In Chicago, I'm going to the same building. I'm gonna walk out of the same building that Jussie did. I'm begging you, please jump out on me.
Just heard about the horrible incident that happened with our little brother Jussie Smollett. And I've listened to a lot of people's words, and I don't have all that eloquent stuff to say. I just want to say this to little brother Jussie, that as a black man in this country, that I'm down with you.
But what he didn't count on was the cops actually doing their job. And as the weeks went on, the information started to come out, and the story started to fall apart.
Police released these photos calling these people, quote, potential persons of interest. And late tonight, a spokesman confirmed Smollett and his music manager did tell detectives they were on the phone as the alleged attack unfolded. But investigators were unable to independently verify phone records because Smollett declined to turn his phone over. Police tell ABC7 a dozen detectives are pursuing new leads, including grainy photos of two persons of interest.
Well, as far as these two guys go, the police caught up with them at the airport, and they had a pretty interesting story to tell.
Big development in the Jussie Smollett investigation. Chicago police have arrested two suspects in the case, believed to be the two men spotted in that security camera footage the night of the incident.
25-year-old Abel Osundairo and his brother Ola, 27, live 7 miles from where Smollett claims he was the victim of a racial and homophobic attack last month. Look, the Nigerian-born brothers are seen in this social media posting wearing black face masks, similar to those described by Smollett. Ola played a prisoner in a scene with Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard in Season 2 of Empire. This video shows one of the brothers doing handstands on a treadmill in the gym in Jussie Smollett's apartment building. Smollett spoke about the attackers in this ABC News interview and indicated they were white and shouted racial and homophobic slurs.
This MAGA country punches me right in the face.
Just hours after the alleged attack, the brothers flew to Nigeria.
And once the police had these two clowns in custody, it took about 5 seconds for them to flip on this dude. And this whole entire story just kept getting worse.
Police have questioned those two men in the surveillance image. Well, tonight those two brothers now claim that Smollett paid them to orchestrate the homophobic and racist attack.
Okay, now the story's getting good. Let's see this evidence that the cops got from the two brothers.
It's a key piece of evidence. The check police say Empire star Jussie Smollett wrote to pay two brothers to stage the hoax. It's for $3,500, payable to Abimbola Osundairo, a bodybuilder and his personal trainer. That's said to be Jussie Smollett's signature, and in the memo line is written 5-week nutrition workout program. The check is dated January 23rd, but police say it was actually written January 27th. 2 days before Smollett claimed he was attacked.
Yeah, and if you think that's bad, check out the surveillance footage of these idiots buying the masks and shit.
What you're seeing them purchase are a couple of balaclavas or ski masks, along with some gloves that they bought at this nondescript shop in Uptown, and a red cap.
And if that wasn't bad enough, a New York Times reporter that just happened to be looking at the scene found the hot sauce bottle that the brothers put the bleach in. Check this out.
About 9 days after Mr. Smollett had reported his hate crime, I was sent to Chicago. I was told to retrace his footsteps and kind of dig up whatever I can, and that was about it. They had shown the Osundairo brothers a photograph of the hot sauce bottle, and they said, yes, that is what we used to pour bleach on Jussie Smollett.
And if that wasn't enough, check out what these idiots left in their apartment. These had to be the dumbest criminals ever.
And police found rope, masks, and bleach in their apartment. But they were released Friday after the brothers told police they bought the rope at a nearby hardware store and participated in the attack at Smollett's request, according to a Chicago police source.
I think we all know what happens next once your partners in crime start snitching and get released without charging.
Jussie Smollett in custody and under arrest just minutes ago. Police released his mugshot. Here it is. In just a short time from now, he'll be in front of a judge for a bond hearing. Investigators say he is no victim and that his story is now unraveling.
From alleged victim to suspected criminal, today Jussie Smollett faces a felony charge of disorderly conduct after detectives in Chicago say he filed a false police report.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, when that idiot got arrested, I laughed my ass off. But I laughed even more at all the people that jumped out the window for him before they got any evidence at all. Let's see how they feel about it now.
Which tweet? What tweet?
About saying that it is a modern day lynching that,
sorry.
Yes, Jussie Smollett.
Okay, so I will say this about that case. I think that the facts are still unfolding, and I'm very concerned.
Senator, you called the alleged attack on Jussie Smollett a modern-day lynching when it happened. Now police sources are telling many networks that Mr. Smollett is under potential investigation for, concocting a story and paying these men. Is it time to revisit what you had said about these remarks? What is your feeling on potential hoax hate crimes in general?
Well, the information's still coming out. I'm going to withhold until all the information actually comes out from on-the-record sources.
Funny how those two flip-floppers were quick to rush to judgment when it first happened. But now that it's a hoax, they want to wait for more info. And remember, these two clowns are running for president. Now let's not forget about Slick Al Sharpton over here. Let's hear what he had to say.
And if it is found that Smollett and these gentlemen did in some way perpetrate something that is not true, they ought to face accountability to the maximum.
See, this is the last person that should say anything about accountability. This dude staged his own hoax back in the day, and we're going to cover that in a future episode of Random News Reports. But here's a little snippet of what he did.
He played a leading role in Tawana Brawley hoax, and after throwing gasoline on the incident, he became a trusted advisor for former President Obama, and he has his own TV show on MSNBC.
Yeah, pretty fucked up, right? But enough with those clowns. Let's get back and see how our boy Jussie's making out.
Well, tonight, Jussie Smollett's legal troubles are going from bad to worse. A grand jury today indicted the Empire Star on 16 counts of felony disorderly conduct, namely false reports of a crime after he claimed to be the victim of a racist and anti-gay attack on the streets of Chicago.
Jussie Smollett faces new serious legal trouble. A Chicago grand jury indicting the actor on 16 felony counts, saying he lied to police in 2 separate interviews about being the victim of a hate crime.
But Smollett could also face federal charges after police say he mailed himself a death threat.
If convicted, Smollett could face up to 3 years for each criminal count.
Wow, 16 charges? That's a lot of time to face for being a clown. But let's see how his trial worked out. I mean, with all this stuff piled up against him, there's no way he ain't going to jail, right?
All charges against former Empire star Jussie Smollett have been dropped, and the case against him has been ordered sealed. But why? Officials in Chicago are furious, with the mayor calling it, quote, a whitewash of justice.
Well, I can honestly say I didn't see that coming. Neither did the public. And look at the backlash that came from that.
This is a whitewash of justice. He did this all in the name of self-promotion. This is a person now who's been let off scot-free with no sense of accountability of the moral and ethical wrong of his actions.
What happened today is extraordinary. I've seen so many cases come and go through the Cook County Courthouse, but I've never seen anything handled quite like this.
This stinks. I'm telling you, it stinks.
Why not give the guy a kiss? This is unbelievable. If you want to say you're innocent of a situation, then you take your day in court. I would never, if someone falsely accused me, I would never hide behind a brokered deal and secrecy.
A senior prosecutor told the New York Times, "We didn't exonerate him," adding that the charges were dropped because Smollett has no felony criminal background and because of his service to the community.
Is there no decency in this man?
Do I think justice was served? No.
Now, the first thing I thought when I saw that was, how did he pull that off? Turns out there was a little bit more to the story. Check it out.
Just days after Smollett reported his alleged hate crime to police, and the Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx tried to persuade Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson to turn the investigation over to the FBI. Now, the request came after Fox received this text, according to the Chicago Sun-Times, from Tina Chen, a Chicago attorney and former chief of staff for former First Lady Michelle Obama. Quote, I wanted to give you a call on behalf of Jussie Smollett and family, who I know. They have concerns about the investigation. Shortly after that, a Smollett family member reached out to Fox, having been given her number by Obama's former assistant. Well, Fox then replied in a text message that she, quote, spoke to the superintendent and that she was, quote, trying to figure out logistics. The relative then replied, OMG, this would be a huge victory, referring to the FBI taking over the case. Fox then texted, I make no guarantees, but I'm trying. This is so great. So let me get this straight. The top prosecutor at the office that ultimately decided not to prosecute Smollett was actively seeking to help the defendant.
Man, the plot thickens. And once that story came out, a whole new set of problems opened up for our boy Jussie here.
The FBI is now reviewing that bombshell decision to dismiss charges, and overnight, the National District Attorneys Association slamming the Cook County office, saying the case in Chicago illustrates a point that the rich are treated differently, the politically connected receive favorable treatment, adding no one is above the law. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox defending her office's decision to drop all 16 felony counts against Smollett.
Then his lawyer released this statement to the public.
Smollett's attorney firing back overnight, saying, we will not try this case in a court of public opinion. There is no case to try. The case was dismissed. We should allow Mr. Smollett to move on with his life as a free citizen. And at this point, because of the judge's orders, investigative reports and other court documents will remain under seal and not be released.
So at this point, you can imagine that the taxpayers and the cops are pissed off at this dude. Check this out.
Chicago police and even outgoing Mayor Rahm Emanuel are so convinced of Smollett's guilt that they have demanded a $130,000 reimbursement of funds that were spent on the investigation. The deadline was today, came and went. Smollett didn't pay up. So now the city just announcing just a short time ago that it's suing him to recoup the money. Good, they should.
Pretty messed up, right? And at this point, the cop just wanted blood. Check this out.
We are here today. We're very grateful for the top police officials who are here with one united voice to demand the resignation of Cook County State's Attorney Kimberly Fox. We have taken a vote both in the Police Chiefs Associations and with the FOP of a vote of no confidence.
And as the days went on, more stories started to drop and more problems started to come.
There are developments now in the Jussie Smollett matter in Chicago. A judge has just assigned a special prosecutor to investigate the entire matter.
Good morning, Bill. Well, the judge that just ruled a special prosecutor will investigate the Jussie Smollett case. Says the most important thing here now is that this special prosecutor will restore confidence in the judicial system here in Cook County. The judge ruled that Kim Fox did not have the authority to appoint her assistant state's attorney as the acting state attorney after she recused herself. The judge said that Kim Fox created this imaginary role of an acting state attorney, whereas state law here requires that when Kim Fox recused herself, a special prosecutor should have been assigned.
And then the worst thing that could have happened to him did happen to him, and it was hilarious.
Never before seen Jussie Smollett court files, and minutes ago they were released. A judge sealed the files back in March, but today changed his mind.
In his 10-page decision, Judge Stephen Watkins explained that while the existing case law doesn't necessarily support unsealing this case, Smollett's actions did.
Punches me right in the face.
He cited this interview that Smollett did on national TV talking about this case.
Get back to work
And this voluntary interview that he gave in the courthouse lobby following the dismissal of charges in front of dozens of cameras. Quote, "These are not the actions of a person seeking to maintain his privacy or simply be let alone," Watkins said. Quote, "By doing so, the court cannot credit his privacy interest as a good cause to keep the record sealed."
See, sometimes you just gotta know when to shut up. But a good thing he didn't, because now we get to see what happened that night. And it was hilarious. Check this out.
Fox News obtained this video via a Freedom of Information request, and really it very much appears to show Jussie Smollett and the Osundaro brothers walking around the area of the alleged hoax right before it happened. This new video shows the Osundaro brothers walking toward the direction of Smollett's apartment building, and in this video you can clearly see a flash of a red-brimmed hat. Police notes and hardware store surveillance video shows one of the brothers apparently purchasing that hat, along with other items like that thin white rope to be used during the alleged hoax. Also, the new video shows Smollett walking in the middle of the street in the same white sweater he was later seen wearing when police arrived. And as you could see on this video, it was such a frigid night, there's hardly anyone else in sight other than Smollett and the brothers. Another piece of new video from a garage shows Smollett in the white sweater, looking calm, perhaps a cell phone in hand. And then a very short while later, the Osundaro brothers are seen walking down the same sidewalk. The attorney for the brothers tells Fox News that the brothers were likely arriving early and kind of were circling the area, waiting for Smollett to return. We reached out to Smollett's legal team for comment on this new video, and so far we have not heard back.
For the more cringier side of the story, check out this body cam footage that the cops caught.
To me, it's kind of messed up. And the thing that bothers me the most, it kind of makes me emotional, is they put a makeshift what do you call the thing? A noose around his neck. Sorry, you know. And that's what bothered me. The cut thing doesn't bother me at all. Come on in, sir.
Any weapons or anything inside the apartment?
No, I just want my neighbors to know.
Okay.
So I explained to the father we wanted to get something. And the reason I'm calling because
You want to take it off?
What goofy stands there the whole time with the noose around their neck waiting for the cops?
Off or anything?
Yeah, I do. I just want to see it. There's a leech on me. You're filming us, right?
Yeah, this is all being. If you want, if it's in his house.
They're filming.
You're being audio and reading.
Audio. I guess when they didn't know they're walking. I don't want to be. Okay, so can we turn it off?
Yeah, you're giving us permission to shut it off.
Funny, right? Your boy even tried to go back to court and claim double jeopardy.
Special prosecutor thinks that the state's attorney screwed up. You could refile charges against Jussie Smollett for lying to cops.
Go through the whole thing all over again.
And he just filed papers saying, that is BS. You cannot do that to me. It is double jeopardy.
Yeah, the big question here, though, is whether or not it actually is double jeopardy, right? Because the state's attorney's office dropped the charges, basically not ever going through with prosecuting him on those charges.
But that was quickly denied.
And you may be seated.
This is a case where you claim somebody assaulted you.
Yeah. I get threatened all the time.
You know you annoyed me. Let's hear what happened, because something happened.
I went to the subway and got the order. During that time, I texted my manager thinking that he was still in Australia.
Listen to me. I don't care.
Today was a good day for justice. We're going back to square one on the People versus Jussie Smollett. Mr. Smollett wanted to come into court now and say, wait a minute, there shouldn't be a special prosecutor. So Judge Tooman ruled that it's too late to...
And that's pretty much where this case sits right now. If anything else happens in the future, I'll be sure to make an updated video on it. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.